The moment all of us, especially me, have been waiting for. With a rant. Here's Paul-Hoynes.
Les, it's... Okay.
Time out.
Les, it has been a crazy winter in baseball, look at Scott Boras, super agent. All his clients combined have signed for over $1 billion in contracts. That's billion with a B. Then you got Houston. The Astros get caught, stealing signs, so they're forever branded with the Scarlet Sea. Then you look at the managerial picture. 10 managers. We've got 10 new managers, 30% turnover, and they still haven't hired a guy in Boston. And then and then there's the free agent explosion. Strasburg and Garrett Cole and Anthony Rendon and Dallas Keuchel and all these guys send huge contracts, but the over 30 gap, like over 30 group, like Jason Kipnis, Melky Cabrera, they're getting squeezed out of the game. Nobody's they're not getting work. Then somebody came up to me on the street the other day and asked me, Hoynesy, why don't the Indians trade Francona back to Boston? They need a manager. He managed there. I'm sitting there thinking, what if Francona doesn't want to go? He fired him there. So, and then we've got the invasion of robo-umpires. Robo-umpires, they're not hitting us right now, but it's coming. It's coming right down there. You can see it just over the horizon. I was talking to Adam Plutko about this. And, the robo-umpires and the three-dimensional strike zone, the electronic strike zone. And he said, yeah, but what if somebody hacks the strike zone? When the pitch is going over the strike zone, and what if they can change that slightly? I'm saying, what is going on in baseball? It's just gone crazy. And then we get to the crux of the matter. Everyone always thought it could only happen in Cleveland. It could only happen in Cleveland. How many great players have the Indians sent packing through trades or free agency because they couldn't afford them? Because they just couldn't afford them. Michael Brantley, Cody Allen, Albert Bell, Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, the list goes on and on and on. And we always thought, hey, it's because the owner's cheap and they don't draw anybody. Okay, so maybe that's maybe you got some facts there. But look what's happening in Boston. Boston just did the same thing. Maybe if this trade goes through, they traded their best player, Mookie-Betts. They traded David Price, who has 3 years left, and $96 million on his contract. They traded him to Los Angeles, to Dodgers. And the reason they did that? To dump payroll, to get under the luxury tax. Now, the Indians don't have to worry about getting under the luxury tax. They've never had to worry about that. The luxury tax in 2020 is going to be $208 million, so they don't got to worry about that. But Boston has a license to print money. What are they doing? They play in Fenway Park. For the last 15 years, Les, they have never drawn less than 2.8 million fans. This last year they had a $236 million contract. And they're crying poor? What's going on here? I could see it with the Indians, but Boston, and now Mookie-Betts is and the thing with Mookie-Betts is he's making $27 million this year. And he could be a free agent next year at the end of the season. And so now you've got Francisco Lindor. So have the Red Sox blazed a trail? Have they blazed a trail that the Indians will follow if and when they trade Lindor or let him walk or whatever? And here's the thing. Betts is if the trade with the Dodgers goes through, Betts could be with the Dodgers for 1 year. Or he could sign an extension. Lindor has 2 years left. So he could end up, there's a lot of talk with Lindor and the Indians and the Dodgers with Lindor. He could end up with the Dodgers at midseason if the Indians go into tank, or sometime this winter. Now, they could both end up on the same team. But Mookie-Betts could be playing right field. Lindor could be playing, shortstop for the Dodgers, and Boston's going to be crying poor. What kind of world is this? I don't get it, Les.
Do you think the Betts could play the 1 year in Los Angeles and then go back to the Red Sox? Because they would save so much money?
Yeah.
Just one quick question on Lindor. Has any of the things that have happened in the offseason with other teams affected his dollars or his thinking or the Indians' thinking? Because I don't know that there's that many available teams to sign.
Yeah, I think definitely Rendon getting that 7-year, $245 million contract from the Angels. I mean, we talked to him about it, and he's shooting way past that. He told the writers when we were talking to him at TriFest, if you were going to start a team, give me 5 players you'd want to start a team with, and he made sure that he was one of those players.
Yeah, of course.
So I mean, if you're looking at that way, Mike Trout, Betts, and Lindor, they got to be in that top 5 of position players. You know, Trout is making $400 million, right? Didn't he sign for some ungodly amount?
I just wonder who's left to have that kind of money to pay.
Yeah, but somebody will pay that kind of money for Lindor.
All right, we're going to tape that rant that you had because you're only here next week. Then the spring training starts, so we'll just play it. We'll pop it on at any
Just
time.
splice it up.
Right. Hoynes, he's great. Don't forget.